Good morning and welcome back to the Home Renovations Experts. Building this beautiful 5x3 garden room. There you can see, happy days. So yesterday got the front wall up, all covered in OSB and started sorting out little bits and pieces ready for the roof. So today is very much a roofing day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one up. This is 7x2 C24 pressure treated. So that's going to go up there like kind of that, give or take. The steel isn't on site yet, that'll be in Monday, I think. But I've got this timber here, which is the same height, 120. So this will just rest on this temporarily while we put the sort of the joists up and everything. Same as this end. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get these in a right position with the correct amount of overhang at the front, because this one's going to have a 600mm give or take canopy at the front. I am going to have to take out this little branch here because it's kind of in the way, and this little one here as well, because that'll stop the overhang for the fascia and soffit going out at 150. When it comes to trees and stuff, I try not to chop them until I need to, because that way you're only chopping what you have to, as opposed to guessing it at the start of the build, because it'd be quite easy going, oh, this tree's in the way, we'll get rid of it. But it's really quite nice. So yeah, where we can, I like to save things. Once I've got those two ends up, what I'll then do is put a string line from one end to t'other, so that when I put all these intermediary boards on and across, I will then just butt these, if you can imagine, a bit of string line coming out about 600mm, give or take. I just butt these ones up to the string line. I know they're all perfectly in line with each other running through. And then that means it just makes life a bit easier. Now, the back of the overhang, because this is a rhombus room, kind of a funny sort of shape, I'm just going to put them on full length, and they can overhang the back as much as they want to, because what I'll do then is I'll show you how we then get the cut on the angle, because you can't just do straight cuts because it wouldn't work. So you have to do an angle cut, but I'll show you that when we get to it. So basically I'm just going to level them all up at the front with a 600mm canopy. They can do what they want over that side. I'll get them all fixed, and then I'll do that chop. And that is basically it. What I've already pre-done, again, if you've been watching this sort of series, the roofing joists are now here. They're now up the right way, so I'll just double check to make sure again that the crown is going in that direction like this and not dipping. So this is going to be the top of the roof, and you know, you should do this before you would anyway, but the reason it's especially important for the roof is because if you put it the other way up, or if you've got spaces where you kind of got ones that's dipping like that, like a banana, and others that going like that, you end up with areas where you could potentially pool water. So you want to make sure that the roof is kind of naturally raised because of the way that the wood runs, and that way the water will run off it a lot better. What I do is, once I've kind of got them in the right position, you can see, C, 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 C. I just put the C in the middle. It's not like to get cut or anything. That's my crown. I know it is, so if I pick it up and I'm moving it, I've got to put it down for some reason. I pick up again, ah, bloody, which way up does it go? Yeah, all right, you can put your eye back down again, it's no big deal, but as soon as you've done that, put a C on it, and now I know. Easy, isn't it? Right, I'm going to get those two bits up and get a string line in, and then I will show you me lining up with a string line. Right, I'm now set up and very happy. So, I've now done my measurements. I've also trimmed the tree back. The tree is no longer in my way. It was an arduous fight, but I won. So there you can see, so I've taken into account the fact that we're going to be padding this wall out as well, just to make sure that that takes into account all those bits and pieces like your batten and your cladding and stuff, so that when I put the front trimmer on, it's going to be pretty much spot on 600, which is perfect. So I've done a little mark just there, I don't know if you can see, just so as I'm adjusting it and moving it around, I can make sure I can come back and just make sure it's staying on that line. What you want to do is an easy way to kind of line this up is to get a bit of timber behind. See this now, there'll be a bit of wood that runs all the way across here, gets padded up, so that when the plasterboard comes up, boom, it's got something to fix to at the top, okay? Because obviously you've got quite a big gap that end, and you don't want flexible plasterboard. So what I did was just put this down level with this, and just move that across until it's just in contact. I now know that's in a spot on place. And then all you want to do, one-handed, be your own like cameraman and director, script writer. It's really going for like a nomination of some sorts, I think. All you want to then do is take said nail gun, and what I'll do is I will spike, so literally 1, 2, 3, and the same on the other side. And the reason you spike it is so that I said yesterday, if you kind of spike into wood going at an angle, it makes it much harder to pull up and remove. So say for example, I just put some nails quite close to sort of straight down. A good gust of wind could essentially lift this up. Now this is going to be overcome anyway because I've got truss carriers. I forgot the name of them. It's still first thing in the morning, but I'll show you them later anyway. So this will be spiked, and then actually, you know what, I'm going to show you now. I feel in the mood. Go for a quick walk. So they'll be spiked in, and then we'll have these little guys. Let me put the camera down for a second, so you can see what it is, and how it works, and what it does. Truss clips, that's the name I could think of. There you go, truss clips. Like this, you see that? And essentially all that it needs to do is go underneath this, like that. You get the idea. Hang on, bring that across a bit. So you're messing up my own work just to show you guys what's what. So that'll go like that, boom. And it gets nailed obviously to the joist, and it gets nailed to there as well, so that way the whole thing is then fixed to this building. So not only is it spiked in, it's held in place with a truss clip as well. And that would be for the front and the back. I used to use upside down joist hangers. A guy that I follow and absolutely love is Oakwood Garden Rooms. So yeah, because I follow everyone as well, because it's just, I love it. So, but he uses upside down joist hangers, and they work not too bad, but that's what this thing is designed for, you know. And what his one does is it kind of sits over the top of here, and the only slight thing is that it creates a raise across the top of your joist. That's not, again, it's not a big deal, but I just think I'm gonna go down this route, and because that's what they're designed for, so that should fix it in beautifully. So there you go. So what I'll do is fix it, string line at the front, and then start getting my other ones in. Here we go. Righty dokey. So I'll bring you inside for 2 seconds. So I've got most of them up for the internal side of it. There you go, look at that. Really not complicated to do. Like I say, once you've got the first two on at each end, what I then did as well, just to be on the safe side, was I took a measurement from the top of this one, hooked the tape measure on the other side, so over here, and measured all the way through to the other side of there, just to make sure that this roof was running square with itself. And then obviously I know my 400s are there. As I brought it this way, I then just measured from that end to there, because that could just easy to get your tape on that, hook it. 39 to there, from there to there, 39 from there to there, 39. So I now know that no matter how twisted and bowed these are going through, the noggins I cut will be the same. And in any points where it's not in contact or it's a bit harder to wedge, I know I'm just correcting for the wood being pissed as a fart. If I come out the front, you can see there's the old string line there. So like I say, connected this end, like, where are we? Like that. Run it, do the same the other end. Run the string line all the way through. And then as I'm kind of putting it on top of the roof, on top of the walls, I'm then basically just kind of measuring a 39 and just bring it forward, and I push it until it just touches the string. And then what I do is just get a hammer and bang, 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 just push it so it's just off of the line. So if I come here, you should just be able to see a tiny bit of sky underneath it if the camera will pick that up. And that is it. They're all set to the same length, the same distance. Beautiful. So what I did do though was I, for some strange reason, didn't order enough roofing joists. So they've been ordered this morning. They'll be here today. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is, because I'm out the full length ones, so I've got another 6 of those coming. 6? I don't know. It happens to all of us. Oh, it's just one of those things. But what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to put my centre joist noggin through. Now, obviously, that wall is wider than this wall here. Doesn't bother me. I'm not that bothered about it. So what I'm doing is taking a centre mark from here. You can see pencil marked it. So that is 125. So I've measured from there to there. And then what I'm going to do is I've then taken the 5th one, measure 125 to there. And then what I will do is grab this level, put it on the mark there, to mark the other end, and I'll just pencil through that on that spot. And I now know that all those joists are going to be, again, just off centre, because that centre mark will do what I did on the walls. So you just see, there's my centre mark for the walls. I just set them off centre of each other so I can get a fix in straight through, and then the other one goes straight through. Makes life a lot easier. So I'm gonna go cut some noggins. Well, I'm gonna draw these lines first so I know where I'm fitting them. Draw the lines, get that marked off. Then I'll cut some noggins out and start getting those fit. And like I say, the measurement will be the same for every cut. And it doesn't matter if it needs pushing in or whatever, because these are bowed. Obviously, I can't fit the joist at the front at the second because I haven't got my steel in. So they are just floaty, loosey-goosey. So, but it is what it is. At least I can carry on for the second. And I'll show you a bit later on what I'm going to do with the roof. Obviously, putting it in now without the steel in, I've got tricks, many tricks. So I should show you what I'm going to do with that later on as well. Right, there you go. You can see all of them are now in. Now you can see why I offset, so that you can get the nails in that side and in that side. Makes it a lot easier than trying to keep them all in a row, which is beautiful. So now look at it, look at it. Oh yeah, that is pretty sweet. Now, one interesting thing I'm going to point out is that, so I've made sure that all of these right underneath are level, which is very awesome. But if you cut the top, you can see, look at that ridge. That's incredible. So what I'll have to do is, and you get this with most wood doing this sort of stuff, is I'll get my electric planer out and I'll just chamfer all these little noggins across where I need to, where they're a bit too tall. Because what it'll do is it'll just kind of push the 18mm just up a little bit and give it kind of raises where you don't need it. It won't take 2 minutes to jump up there, quickly get electric sliding up, straight down, done, flush surface, and then that is it. So I won't do that straight away though, because I'll get the front trimmers on now. So basically, front trimmers is essentially the bit that goes in the front of here, which is essentially one of those whacking great lengths over there. So that'll just go on. I'll overlap it at this point here. You can just see. So you can see there's the edge of the building, there's that. So when I put it on, I'll bring it out sort of here somewhere, overshoot it, and then I'll trim the end off later. So what I'll do is I'll go get the 4.8 meter length, get it up. I'll create what's referred to as a dead man hand. I think that's what it's called, that's what I call it. Basically, it means something that can hold it at one end, because obviously you're trying to hold a 4.8 meter length of 7x2 while you nail it, damn near impossible unless you're a Hulk, which I ain't. More of a Tony Stark kind of guy. But I left it with tech at home, so I just bought the basic tools. So I'm going to get that. I'll knock up one of those just to kind of pin it at whatever section I need to, and I'll show you that in a moment. That was quick, wasn't it? Right, so there you go. You can kind of see there's just 2 nails in it. Hold it a second because this is something I want to do for the moment. But there you go. Let's see, dead man hand. So basically, just got an off cut of wood, figured out where the closest I was going to get to my 4.8 meter length, but give me overhang at the other end. Pick this one. 5 2 nails into it. That nail held it up. Well, I kind of got it up into position, hooked it on that end, aligned it, sent 2 nails in just to kind of keep it pinned for the second. So one there, one here. Make sure it's flush with the top of these. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But what I'm going to do now is, because it's a perfect opportunity, where these joists go like that and like that. So all my noggins, like I said earlier, are cut to the same distance, 34.5. What I noticed it did was, it's now buggered up my 39 marks. Again, not the end of the world, but I would like these to be equally distanced as we go through. So, hence why I've only put 2 nails in it over there, is that I can double check 39 to 39. Then I'll run to the front, nail that one, 39 to 39 that one, nail that one. So that way I now know that these are all going to be equally spaced throughout. And the reason that that is useful is because when I'm cutting my PIR installation to go into these voids, if it wiggles out that way or that way, it's just a pain in the bum. So the squarer they are, the happier this face is. So I'm going to do that now, budge them all up, fix them into position, job done, and then that is these bays nicely laid out, ready for the PIR a bit further down the line. It's all the forward thinking, isn't it? Another thing that you will find as well, so what I've done is, I've got this one perfectly positioned straight away. What I've done now is, as you can see, it's not aligning there in the slightest. So what I've done is, because I know it's like actually in the right place, mark a pencil mark. I'm even aiming at the right thing. So there you go, there's a pencil mark, sorry, there. Now what I'm going to do is get my quick grips, put it over the top, and just use this as my second pair of hands. Just kind of, there you go, pulling it in, pulling it in, pulling it in. I want to make sure it stays aligned with that pencil mark though, as much as possible. There you go, now I can nail it. That's held. Let's freed up a pair of hands. Happy days. Up on the roof. I'm going to say that every time I do a roof, so just get used to it. Right, I'm up on the roof now, as you can see. I've chucked one board up just so that I've got something to be like walking on and kneeling around on and sort of drag it where I need to. Makes life a little bit easier on my knees. Now, that angle, because we're on a rhombus, rhomboid, whatever it is, on offset room, we can't just cut these straight because it'll be wiggly woggly. So what we're going to do is, I've marked where I want my fascia and soffit to be. So that's going to be the cut. Then there'll be another bit of a 7x2 which then goes onto the end of it, which will run obviously all the length all the way through. So that pencil mark represents my cut line. I've done the same measurement over the other end on the other side of the wood, so that way I'm good to go. And now what I'll do is chalk line, grab that, that's what the nail's for. So literally hook that onto it like so, drag that to the other end where my pencil mark is, ping it, and that is my line to cut. Simple as that, nothing more complicated than that. And I'll set up my circular saw to just run it down, but I'll have it set to the angle, or I might use a reciprocating blade. I haven't decided yet, but either way it'll all be marked and that'll be it perfect. And then that way I know I'm gonna have the same cut along the whole thing. So that's what I'm going to do, ping it and cut it. And there you go. Chalk line done. Happy days, runs all the way through, all the way to the end. That is now my cut mark. Simples. So I'll now go and get my other little tool, which I'll show you in a second. I will be back. Right, I've now got it. So there you go, it's my sliding mitre. Can't remember the exact name of it. I'm terrible for names and stuff sometimes. So I basically put that on, adjusted it, so that is now the official cut. So what I'll now do is transfer that to my circular saw, so it's got the right angle, and literally I'll then just run it straight down, boom, or in this case up that line on all of them, but the same cut reproduced, and then I'll be ready to stick this on to the end, and it'll follow straight through. In theory, it'll work. Of course it'll work. Well, for you it's been a couple of seconds, for me it's been about 2 hours. You can now see I have the side trimmer on, flippity floppity, but we'll sort that out in a second. So that is on down there. You can see I did the same angle cut for that one. Obviously straight cut down there, perfect. And obviously I did the one over there in the far distance, if you care to look. So that one's in, this one's in. So what I'll do now is I'll go and just chop off those overhangs at both sides on both of them, and then it'll be putting these noggins in between here and here. Now you can see this bit of wood, relatively true there, but you can see it twists like an absolute mother across there. So what these joists will do, the noggins, will help to straighten it out and push it correct. I mean, it'll be fighting it, but that's what the noggins will help to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this in, getting that straight, and then see what the time is and see if I can get on with a few other bits and pieces. So here we go. You can now see one support noggin, 2 support noggin, and just for good measure, a 3 support noggin. So that is that, all in and done. Same for the other side, that is now in and sorted. It's about to piss it down. So I can now do my very special impression. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. These are not the droids you're looking for. The funny thing is, I'm actually more of a Star Trek fan, so go figure. But I had to do it anyway. So now I'm gonna let this little storm blow over. I've got one piece of ply on the roof. So I'll just stand here, I think, for a minute while it keens it down. But what I can do is explain what I'm gonna do next. So what I'm gonna do is grab some offcuts of wood. And essentially what I'm gonna do is cut them to fit, excuse me, in between these sections, drop it in, like I said earlier. That'll give me a nice bit of wood flush here, which acts as a carrier. So I'll drop in 1, 2, 3 over there, pad that one up a little bit, jobs are good one. And same for over that side. And then basically that is the roof structure in and done in a day, which is not too bad on your sod, especially like this end, which is like 4.5 meters, but using those like dead men hangers, like just put them upside down, give something to support the other end on, it's fantastic. Right, well, I'm going to sit here and ride out the rain for a minute. I'll see if I can get anything else done. And that is it for the day. I need to get home because, well, we've got stuff going on tonight. So, but before I leave, there you go. So that is going to be the soffit. Don't forget, you've got the batten coming out, plus you've got the metal sheeting which is coming on here. So perfect for the overhang. Very nice down this side as well. And because we're at the back, I'll show you going this way. Look at it. It's looking nice, isn't it? Hey. And now, basically, for all intents and purposes, the actual structural work is basically done, except for sticking the steel in. The actual structure is there. You can now see, here's those bits I've just cut in. It's that same bloke from yesterday. It's all right. It's just our life and our time. Right, there you go. You can now see that is now in. So that's now got the carrier ready for the plasterboard. These little bits here will be filled with expanding foam, so that will stop any of that, because obviously it's going to be fully insulated, very nice. You can see the roof is now beautifully in, noggins in. That's just my walking board. Same over this side again, so that is it. So, like I say, structurally she's there, minus just jacking this lot up and putting the steel in. How I'm going to do that is, if you watched a couple of guide rooms ago, what I'll do is I'll buy a couple of bits of stud, which I'll basically pin down the side here, all the way through, get 2 of them. I've got 4 of these jacks, put them underneath each one, wind it up, they lift it a treat actually. Even with the boards on, I've had it rubber roofed, finished, and they lift it up a piece of cake. Once that's lifted up, sort of just give it a bit of clearance by about, I don't know, 20, 30 mil. Once the steel is cut, get it in, offer it up, put it in place, then just lower the ceiling onto it. Just like a car bonnet really, just sort of pivoting from the back downwards. Beautiful. Otherwise, I've got to hang around. I couldn't have done any of the roofing stuff, and we don't have to stop because of that. Even the rain doesn't stop me too much. I'm still crack on. It's just when it's really heavy. But anyway, if you've got any questions, ping them through. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that kind of jazz. And yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions, ping them below. If you've got any comments you think, actually, Steve, you could have done that better, ping them below as well, because I like to learn as well. Apart from that, I'm off to the van to keep dry again. So I'll see you all tomorrow. See you later, guys.